Coordination must be there because look at Andhra Pradesh, including Telangana. The people who are investing in industries in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh are not big industrialists. They are basically farmers. Farmers who have made money in agriculture, now they are diversifying into industry. This is the essence of rural development. India does not come up as an economic power. No one will bother about you. You may have an atom bomb, you may have anything, you may have one of the world's biggest army, you have the world's largest population in the country. All that is immaterial.
Yes.
If you are not an economic superpower.
Why India could not implement such
What
kind
we
of
are
thing?
doing is we have about 35 to 42 different things. We are going into 35 or 42 different directions. And we are going nowhere. And I am reminded of this President Xi Jinping. He has given a target to the Chinese scientists. In another 2 years, they should improve the rice cultivation to 20 tons per hectare. He has set a target to them. Here, nobody talks of any targets or anything. They are not bothered. चलता है, research कर रहा है, करने दो.
Why ethanol factories are suffering in India?
Because government is not able to put that 5% they have said.
Okay.
Brazil has got now, it is 50%.
Right.
There is no way you can remove someone and say, इसको नहीं लेना है, इसको बाहर निकालो. सबको लेना है साथ में. That is the way India can move forward.
Okay.
Otherwise, the nation cannot remain great. It will collapse.
Hi viewers, today we are going to talk to Dr. K.G. Karmakar. He is banker for 40 years. He is author of 16 very renowned books and also 16 books are in pipeline. He has done a lot of social services. He is actually a researcher, an economist. He is mainly working on rural developments and finance is his subject. So today we are going to talk to Mr. Karmakar. Karmakar or Karmakar?
Karmakar.
Mr.
Karmakar.
Yeah, the Bengali
Dr.
Karmakar. Dr. Karmakar.
Dr. Karmakar.
Karmakar.
Kormokar. It is
Karmakar.
Kormokar.
So we are going to talk to Dr. Karmakar. We call him Karmakar here. So, sir, welcome to the channel.
Thank you.
My main question is that in spite of so many researchers, so many think tanks working towards the economics and working towards the empowerment, rural developments, why the rural areas still lack uh, empowerment or why they are below poverty line, why the resources are not reaching, why farmers are in depression even today after so much of growth?
See, having been associated with NABARD and with Reserve Bank and State Bank for over 40 years as a banker, I realized that rural development is not something which can be switched on and off. It has to be a continuous process of involvement of the people who are looking after all these areas. So rural development is not for votes. It is not about pumping money into rural areas. Rural development is about really caring for the people, caring for the farmers. Now, if you look at agriculture, agriculture is the largest private sector in the country. 85% of our people are involved in agriculture. And it is agriculture which sustains the economy. One bad rainfall and the entire economy goes for a toss. So people seem to forget that. People are talking about industrialization, talking about make in India and all that. All that will happen. But look at what has happened. Let us take the case of 3 towns, Kanpur, Howrah, and Bombay. These were industrially well developed, all built by the British. Bombay was nothing before the British came. Kanpur was nothing before the British came. Howrah was nothing before the small scale industries were brought. But today, all of them are in doldrums. The industry which was there because of unions or whatever you call, or because of various other factors, today these British built towns are all dead. So somehow industry is cyclical. Now you look at in the south, there is a culture of development. And it is not development only of say Chennai or Bangalore or Hyderabad. It is even smaller towns which are also prospering and continuing. And there are a lot of things happening all over the place. So, rural development actually means development of urban and rural areas.
The coordination.
The coordination must be there, because look at Andhra Pradesh, including Telangana. The people who are investing in industries in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh are not big industrialists. They're basically farmers.
Farmers.
Farmers who have made money in agriculture, and now they're diversifying into industry. This is the essence of rural development.
Okay.
And which I would like to ensure, and which I want. So that is, the farmers have to prosper. If the farmers don't prosper, we are in trouble. Now look at what has happened in why rural India is prospering today.
Mm-hmm.
The government did a very sensible thing, giving 6,000 rupees to farmers. Now that has helped the farmers very much.
Mm-hmm.
And it has helped the farmers to improve the rural economy. If more money flows in the rural economy, you can find that there is advancement.
How much change has made to the
It has made
farmers?
tremendous change.
Mhm.
If today India is prospering, if India is aspiring to become number 3 economy in the world, and if India is really trying to become a superpower on aiming for a seat in the United Nations Security Council, it is only because India as an economic power has to come up. And
yeah.
if India does not come up as an economic power, no one will bother about you. You may
Yes.
have an atom bomb, you may have anything, you may have one of the world's biggest army, you have the world's largest population in the country. All that is immaterial.
Yes.
If you are not an economic superpower. So we have to become, I think, and this government has been doing it very well. They are trying to bring up India's status in the world.
What is your comment about the finance minister?
I won't talk about any particular finance minister or anything. I don't believe in personalities. I believe in policies. What are the policies which are being followed? Now, most of the policies are, earlier, when the earlier governments for that, they were imposed by the World Bank or imposed by the IMF, and they were not pro-India. And to everyone's horror, at least 70% of whatever the IMF or World Bank have been telling to the other countries, they have been failures.
Okay.
So the success rate is minimal. What they have been prescribed for India all these years have not worked. So today, what we are seeing today is an Indian brand of economics.
So that is a major change.
Which is totally Indian, and which is geared towards making India more vibrant, more alive, and more economically strong. I think that is what India stands for, and I am sure it may take 10 years, it may take 20 years, but we will get there, because the aim is that we have to become among the top number 3, among the top 3.
Okay.
It will be difficult to dislodge USA and China, but number 3 is achievable.
Okay.
So we should be able to come over there. The future is ours.
Why it is difficult for India to dislodge China?
See, China had a head start. China and India were equally. Let us look at about 2,400 years back. At that time, research has shown that India and China were the 2 superpowers in the world. And together they contributed about 50% of the world's GDP. For 1600 years, India and China were the superpowers. For example, if India was 25%, they were about 28%, like that. So it was more than 50%, India and China. Then slowly China started becoming richer and India started becoming poorer due to the Muslim colonization and then the English colonization. We became colonies. So our inherent strength in science and technology, in our trading, our traders went down. Earlier, Southeast Asia, Middle East, we were major traders. All that went out, and Indians stopped trading. That is, I think, right from Indus Valley civilization, we have been a nation of traders. We have done well.
Yes.
But we have forgotten. We in the middle, after the Gupta 6th century, to the 12th century when the Muslims came, our trade declined very much. And this is where India took a
Started
hit.
lacking.
We started lagging behind China. So, but we were still strong.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Bengal, Bengal was the richest Suba of the Mughals, very, very rich.
Mm.
And people have commented on, many people have written on Bengal's richness.
Yes.
It contributed, it was really wealthy. And people were also very rich. But suddenly you find after the British came, you find famines occurring in Bengal and large number of people dying. Famines used to happen, but they were localized.
Okay.
And they were not a problem in India in many thousands of years. But then after the British came, they were interested in extracting money
Extracting
from.
money from.
They were not interested in giving back. Now today, for example, if many of my friends who are from Andhra Pradesh, they tell no, Sir Arthur Cotton did such a lot, Godavari, Krishna, that he has done the barrage and all that, that has made Andhra rich. But he did it not because the East India Company or the
Yes.
British government wanted it. He did it on his own.
His own. Yeah.
So this is something which we have forgotten. Then the Indus Valley dams and all that now they have done. West Punjab especially became very rich after 35. So it was done by the British because they wanted to release land for their soldiers. The soldiers had to get land, so irrigation had to be given. That is why the barrages were created on the Indus. So the British did whatever they did. For example, telegraph, then railways. All this was done to help cotton move to Manchester. Indian industries declined.
To be harmed.
And the Indian industries which were there, for example, Bidri work, beautiful, handicrafts, had no value in Britain. Britain wanted porcelain from China. Britain wanted tea from China. So what they gave from India? Opium.
Okay.
So today you see all the parcel industrialists, including the Tatas, all made money in opium, except the Wadias. Wadias used to build ships for the Royal Navy. Okay. Many of the British Navy, when they were wooden ships, were built in India. Surat was a major manufacturer of this. So our Indian industries used to have a great this thing, but now today India contributes maybe only 3% of the world's GDP. At
Yes.
one time, it was 25 to 30%.
30%.
It has come down. China has gone on ahead because they started their entire process in 1975. Now, what China did was after the death of Mao, you had Deng Xiaoping. He was a pragmatist. He was a communist, but he was a pragmatist. He said, we must become powerful. Yes. And we must make our people rich. Many people have forgotten that in China, 6 million people died in the Cultural Revolution. Huge, it was a tremendous disaster. And he wanted to set back all those. So he did a very good thing was he made friends with USA. Or USA wanted to become friendly. You had Kissinger and Nixon both running towards China. They wanted to make, because wanted to upset Russia, Soviet Union. And they took Pakistan's help. So Pakistan became very important in the American system. And even now they continue. So India is not two-liner. They do not go in for their policies and all. India does not toe their line. India does whatever it suits India, and that is something great about India. That we have always been uh, pro-India.
Self-believers.
Yes, we believe on ourselves, not either pro-West or pro-Soviet Union. We are friendly with everybody. Yes. So this is the reason. China started a World Bank program, which I wish we could have implemented, but I don't think we are going to implement that. That was totally turned towards agriculture. Okay. It was called Flame, Torch, and Spark at the village level, at the district level, and at the regional level. Flame, Torch, and Spark. These are acronyms. Okay. These World Bank programs were fantastic. They brought the best agricultural technology available from the USA. Now, USA has one department which I admire very much. The US Department of Agriculture, USDA, it has fantastic, it has done great work, and they believe in certain things which we don't believe in.
Okay.
And that is why I admire them. They said that we must have world's mastery in 5 commodities. The 5 commodities are wheat,
Hmm.
then maize, then groundnut, and 2 more. I'm not able to recollect now. But these 5, they said, we will concentrate. So their research is concentrated on remaining number one in these.
Yeah.
The best scientific research is being done to ensure that they remain number one.
Why India could not implement such
What
kind
we
of
are
thing?
doing is we have about 35 to 42 different things. We are going into 35 or 42 different directions, and we are going nowhere.
Okay.
If you concentrate on, say, rice, we concentrate on 4 5
Simple
simple things
things.
which are important. Oil seeds, where we are importing
Yeah.
heavily on palm oil
Palm oil.
from Indonesia, and our maximum imports are in oil and
Grains.
edible oil. Edible oil. These are
Yeah.
the two major rate. About 70% of our imports are only on these.
On that.
Why are we not trying to improve our oil seeds cultivation?
Why
But
are we not trying to?
we tried it. I think Rajiv Gandhi tried this. Um, Sam Pitroda headed 5 committees. The one which is really famous was rural communications. That India has done very well thanks to Rajiv Gandhi and Sam Pitroda. But the other 4 failed. Water
Hmm.
was one of them. Then one of them was in pulses, oil seeds. These 3 failed. So
Like, don't you think the areas that we failed,
should
there
have been taken up.
should have been taken up?
Yes, I agree. But what happened was people lost interest. If
Okay.
a small failure should not be a setback.
Setback. Yeah.
You should go even further. Now, I remember Manmohan Singh asking a question when he inaugurated the Indian Science Congress at Hyderabad.
Hmm.
He made a, do we have any technology to improve the cultivation of rice?
Hmm.
Yes, we had it, because I have seen even tribal farmers are doing that. Is technology which was brought from Madagascar by Cornell University. They perfected it,
Hmm.
and it was done by a father, uh, Anglican father, who did research for about 25 years in Madagascar. Then
Hmm.
it was taken up by Cornell University,
Hmm.
and intensive rice research cultivation was taken up in, and NG Ranga, professor in the
Hmm.
university in Hyderabad, they have done this. But it works well in upland areas,
Okay.
not in lowland
Lowland
areas.
areas.
So, but who is doing work on lowland areas? This is the
Do
major
we have
problem.
any infrastructure to monitor all these things?
No, we have in Cuttack Rice Research Institute and all that, but the work is done in a very haphazard manner. The
Hmm.
government of if a prime minister of a country is asking, "Do we have this thing?" That means he is not aware of
Aware.
what is going on. And I am reminded of this present Jinping. He has given a target to the Chinese scientists that by uh, in another 2 years they should improve the rice cultivation to 20 tons per hectare.
Hmm.
Right now they have achieved 17, but
China.
he has set a target to them. Here nobody talks of any targets or anything. They are not bothered. चलता
Yeah.
है रिसर्च कर रहा है करने दो.
But
So no
why
one is
that
bothered.
farmers are in distress so much?
Farmers are in distress because no one bothers about agriculture. You are allowing them to do whatever they want. I
Okay.
said that it is the largest private sector in the country.
Yes.
So private sector means kuch mat karo. Don't do anything for them.
Okay.
You don't bother about marketing. You don't bother about anything. This present government is creating infrastructure for agriculture, marketing, and all that. They're doing something. But how to integrate all markets? How to ensure that the farmer, now what happens is a farmer keeps the whatever produce he has. When he takes it to the market, he cannot bring it back.
Yeah.
It is too costly for him. He has to
Yes.
sell
The
it at
transport.
whatever price the Artiyas give. Now
Okay.
he cannot bring it back. So whatever, he is at the mercy of those people. So how to ensure that the farmer gets a good price? This we have not been able to solve. So the government, the farmers have been agitating MSP law, ye law. This is not the answer. The answer is infrastructure. Then you create and ensure that their produce reaches the markets and they get better price. I think Modi had mentioned that doubling of farmers, saying that really did not work because costs are also coming up.
Coming up, yeah.
So the farmers are becoming poorer, I should say.
And how do you look at, like, most of the farmers are selling their lands? See, I can
Yes,
tell you
it
the
is happening.
suburbs of Mumbai also.
Everywhere, not only in Bombay, Allahabad. My wife is from Allahabad. The suburbs and all that were rich farmlands, all are being sold now.
Sold, and now people are building houses there,
Building
private
houses
houses.
there, but who will feed India? I am looking at feeding of India. I remember one researcher from USA, one Dr. Gadgil, he had come to speak with me. He was telling, should I invest in tea? I asked, why are you asking this question? I said, all these British companies, this, that, at least, all are making money. Saying, no, they are not doing well. So, and Indian tea is suffering because there is competition from Kenya, there is competition from Sri Lanka. So, the tea plants of Sri Lanka and Kenya are younger. So, they're getting better price. Indian tea is
Doesn't have that market.
they're not regenerating. Many of the British who left, they gave it to the Marwadis, and who are more interested in making money, not in reinvesting the money. So this is the problem we are facing. People are out to make money, but they are not interested in investing. You have to invest.
What are your 3 suggestions to the farmer sectors?
To make food security is very important. So first of all, availability of credit. Farmer has to go to the money lender.
Yeah.
And it is anything from 40% to 60%.
Oh.
It is really very costly for the farmer, and he has no way of escaping it.
Right.
Now, I have personally seen the spate of farmer suicides in Hyderabad, in Andhra Pradesh. It is because many farmers were growing cotton in non-cotton growing areas.
Okay.
Jabarjasti, they were growing cotton, and they were taking money from people involved with Naxalites. So Naxalite money was going for, and there was no way he could stop not to pay. You can escape from banks,
Yeah,
but you
can't
can escape from the
them.
Naxalites. These
Even in
Annas
Maharashtra,
were there. Same thing. It's
so
happening.
many
Yes,
suicides.
it is because of this. You are growing things commercially which are not viable for that area.
Yes.
Sugarcane, it's a waste. But
Yeah.
unless it is not a waste if you divert it to ethanol.
Okay.
If you did that and
Why
not make
ethanol?
sugar,
Why ethanol factories are suffering in India?
because government is not able to put that 5%. They have said.
Okay.
Brazil has got now it is 50%.
Do we have that much of maize and everything?
Not maize. We have sugarcane.
We have
Sugarcane
sugar.
given from India to Brazil. They have converted 50%. Now beyond 20%, you have to have a different converter in the vehicles. Brazil has done it.
Yes.
If Brazil can do it, why we can't do it?
I
But we
just-
don't have that willpower, because the sugar lobby is strong.
Yes. Do you think ethanol will ever be a successful?
It has been a success in Brazil.
No, I'm asking about India.
We can, but we don't want to do it.
Okay.
We don't want to do it because there is a strong sugar lobby. So
Okay.
everything is around
The
lobbies.
supply chain is in somebody's
Yes,
hand.
it is that we will not be able to get it unless the entire supply
Because
chain
in the
system.
recent past, whosoever has started or invested in ethanol, the factories, they are non-functional.
Because the government is not able to ensure minimum 5%.
Okay.
Our government has said 5%, but how are they imposing? Because there is a lobby to import petroleum. They are making money on that. That lobby is
Okay.
strong. So we are dominated by lobbies, and we refuse to acknowledge that fact.
So what government should do now to ensure
That you how to de-lobbyize the lobbies.
Okay,
There
how
is
to
a
break these
petroleum
lobbies?
import lobby.
Yeah.
How to make them strong?
Okay.
That the government has to find out ways and means, and you have to ensure that in the refining stage that blending is done 5% at least.
Mm.
Forget about 20%. Forget about
Right.
40%, 50%, which Brazil has done. Why
Right.
we can't do? So
Right.
when the sugar industry is failing in our India, because you don't want to make everyone diabetic,
That is true.
you should go in for ethanol, but they don't do it. See,
Right.
there are many things which we should do. One of my personal heroes is J.R.D. Tata. Before his death, he mentioned two things which India is lacking. One is the population, no means of population control, no interest in population control. Second one is education, that we are sadly
Yeah.
letting the education system decay.
But now the spiritual leaders are saying produce more children to have the population. So how you
No,
go?
no, it is not a question of, numbers. It is a question of quality.
Yes.
You have to have good quality. Whatever children you have, you should be able to ensure that they are the best in the
Raise
world.
properly.
So that for that you need education.
Yes.
So it's not only population, it's the education. Both. And J.R.D. Tata, before his death, he talked about that. And he was a great man. I personally give a lot of importance. Not so much to Ratan Tata, he died recently, but J.R.D. Tata was a really great
Visionary,
man.
like.
Visionary. So population control, we've still done nothing. We don't intend to do also.
Do also.
And second one is education. Today you are having, I remember my daughter was assistant professor at SNDT Women's University. She was getting a 20,000 rupees salary, and she was managing the entire MSW program for 2 years. She did that, but what was the salary? Nothing. So if you give peanuts, you can feed only monkeys.
Monkeys. That's true.
This is unfortunately, this is what is happening today. You are not taking permanent professors. Sorry, you are now taking on contract, and you are not getting the best. And
What
the
is-
best ones are going away abroad.
What is your suggestion to government on this?
Population control, obviously, I believe. I don't.
Yes.
If anyone says that
That
you
is one.
produce more children, unless you are able to really give them good education, don't create more children.
Yes.
And then secondly, education. How to ensure that the best quality. China has done that. Chinese research institutions and their patents and all are in science and technology are fantastic. What are we doing? You have some IITs. You have IITs now in all. You have all in Institute of Medical Sciences and all that in all. This is the vision of this government. But all these years we were just 5 IITs.
How do you look at the corruption in education system?
See,
It's more prevalent.
corruption, I think, is a part of life in India. You have to live with corruption, but that doesn't mean we have to tolerate it.
Yes.
We are living with corruption because we are helpless. But there is a high level of corruption, which will slowly go away when people become more
Aware.
This awareness is not there. People are being taken for a ride.
What is to be done to create awareness?
A good education.
That's the only solution.
No, now for example, now why is government investing in madrasas? A government, why not in gurukuls? Why not in for Jains and all that? The thing,
Yes.
or for Christian missionaries and all. Government is not giving money for that. Why is it giving money to madrasas? Madrasas, which is encouraging education and violent education. Why is it doing it? I don't understand. So certain things are beyond comprehension. I have failed to understand. But it is appeasement politics is going on. So it happens. So we are living in this thing. People want votes. People want to.
So do you think somewhere the vote bank politics is deteriorating the condition of?
It is, but what is the alternative? If you want it, but democracy, you have to have one person, one vote.
Yeah.
You cannot have a system where only a few people vote. That is an oligarchy. That is not work. It is not good.
Yes.
You let people join the system. They let them feel that they're this thing. But then people feel, नहीं ये यादव है तो इसको चोरी करने दो. ये OBC है इसको चोरी करने दो. ये हमारा जात का है इसको चोरी करने दो.
So caste-based politics is ruining everything.
So how to divide? So when this government talks about Vikas, I like it because we
It's
don't
of
talk
sabka
about
saath.
everyone should be part of that.
Hmm.
It should not be, you should not divide people.
Yes.
So inclusion. So I talk when we talk about development, I always talk about inclusive development.
Is that
Don't
happening?
let no one remain behind.
Huh.
It is not happening. I know it.
Sabka saath is a slogan, but is
It's a
it
slogan.
happening?
It is a slogan, but it has to happen.
Right.
There is no way you can remove someone and say, इसको नहीं लेना है, इसको बाहर निकालो, सबको लेना है साथ में. That is the way India can move forward.
Okay.
Otherwise, the nation cannot remain great. It will collapse.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. I
And
don't
this
know.
was a very good input from a think tank to make this country a number one in economy and number one in development. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, the real definition of it. Sir has already explained it to us. Thanks a lot for such a wisdom
Thank
of
you.
words, and thank you. If you like this episode, please share, like, and subscribe. We will meet in another episode with another topic. Till then, goodbye.